Hello, my fellow citizens, Digital Master here, and today CIG held an AMA and Ask Me Anything on Spectrum, Star Citizen's official forums. We got some juicy information about the upcoming cargo refactor in Alpha 3.18, which is pretty much a follow-up to last week's ISC. CIG wanted to clear up any confusion that might have come from that episode, so here we are, and I have you covered. I'm going to share the question and answers right here. I'm going to share my thoughts as well, and I'm going to encourage you to share yours in the comment section below. Before we begin, though, there is a very lonely like button down there. And a equally lonely subscribe button that way. Appreciate you. You're awesome. Let's begin. Question number 1. When it comes to cargo refactor and piracy, what have you thought of to encourage player-to-player boarding actions with this feature? CIG responded with, well, so we hinted about this in the ISC and it wasn't very clear. With 3.18, we are introducing the concept of soft death. There is a 70% chance a vehicle will die with its interior and cargo intact from combat deaths. Explosive deaths or deaths by game ruse, such as near a barrier or touching water, for example, won't trigger a soft death. What this means, 70% of the time you and your crew are still alive, and the cargo is still attached to the ship when a combat death occurs. Here, a combat death means ship reaching 0 health in combat. So the 30% of the time that this doesn't happen, your ship explodes and cargo is pushed out, and then 0 to 90% of that cargo remains, with the average of that being 45% of cargo surviving. Question number 2. Do I need to neatly stack boxes all square in order to register them correctly? CIG's answer is the following. Containers are snapped to the grid when they are placed in the ship. Anything in the ship or attached to the grid will be able to be sold at the commodity kiosk. Question number 3. In the recent ISC, cargo missions were mentioned. Can you go into any detail on what these missions will be like and how they will work? CIG's response is, after 3.18, we want to separate commodity trading from cargo hauling. Commodity trading will be high risk, high reward. If you invest a large amount of your money, you will also have to manage the cost of loading and unloading as well as protection. On the other hand, cargo hauling is just moving things for NPCs from point A to B. You are not tied to it financially, and it will be moving things that pirates don't care about, as there will be no profit in it for them. The first step here is we will be adding cargo hauling missions that extend the current box delivery missions once you can manually load and unload your own cargo. They will start small and get larger, and the only thing the players are risking is reputation. Question number 4. Will cargo containers stolen by pirates be recognized by buyers as being stolen? If so, then what happens if I willingly transfer my cargo to another player to sell for me? Good question. The answer from CIG is, when a player purchases commodities, those are owned by the player that purchases them. Anyone else trying to sell them will have to use a no questions asked terminal, and they will not receive full price for anything that they are trying to sell. Even if I give a cargo container to a friend, they would have to sell it at the no questions asked terminal, and they would not get full price for the commodity. Grimhex, for example, would be a location I could fence my stolen goods. Question number 5 can be summed up with the following. Can you please give clarification to the different ways cargo can be stacked onto the cargo grid? CIG's answer to this is the following. Buying cargo works just like it does now. You purchase from a kiosk, that cargo is loaded into the ship automatically and attached to the grid. Once outside of the armistice zone, you are free to move it around and snap it to the grid with the tractor beam however you want. Question number 6. Are we getting any dynamic pricing changes to commodities? The answer is, commodity prices will not change for 3.18. Mainly because if we did it now, we would have to do it all over again as soon as we add manual loading and unloading to the loop. Loading and unloading will dramatically change the whole commodity trading loop. Question number 7. Hi, will cargo boxes have any kind of signatures to be picked up by ship pings or vehicular pings? The answer is cargo containers can be scanned and AR markers will be present if they survive the explosion. We have also added colored tints to the containers so you can at least identify what category they belong to, such as metals or precious goods. Question number 8. Will cargo loading timers be part of 3.18? The answer: at the moment, nothing changes with loading and unloading. This is handled automatically as it has been in the past. Once manual loading and unloading becomes a reality, you will have the option to choose between the two. If you chose to have the location do the loading and unloading, there will be a cost and a time where your ship is unavailable while the process completes, much like the current refinery gameplay. Question number 9. I would love to be able to buy 1 or 2 SCU boxes to be able to put whatever we want in them. This would make org events easier, we could buy all the armor for ground battles, extra weapons and ammo, etc. The answer: I want you to be able to do that as well, rather than having to blow up your ship and create them yourself. On top of that, I want you to be able to carry those around, loot bunkers, fill them up, and then snap them to the grid once you're back at your ship. I also want you to be able to do all this and then go back to a station and go sell all of this without having to transfer it all to that station's local inventory in order to do so. That said, it probably won't make it into 3.18. At some point, however, it will be a thing. This is where I use the dreaded soon TM. Question number 10. Are larger cargo containers still planned with the refactor like the ones on the raft? Why just 1 SCU? Why not 10 SCU boxes for less entities? The answer to this is, larger than 1 SCU containers are still planned, but at the moment everything is still bought and sold as 1 SCU cargo containers. Question number 11. Any new commodities coming in 3.18? The answer: the only new addition that I can think of is RMC, which is what you get from hull scraping. These can be sold at commodity kiosk. Question number 12. Are the external cargo pods of the Prospector, Mole, and Raft going to be detachable and replaceable? If not, what happens to the mined ore and cargo aboard these ships if they are destroyed? The answer to this: track this down with several teams. Currently, all of these ships will function similarly to how they do now once 3.18 comes online. Resource pods such as saddlebags or fuel pods won't be detachable in this release, as further work on vehicle tractor beams is required. Regarding external cargo such as the hull series and raft, these will detach upon vehicle destruction as outlined in the ISC episode. Question number 13, which is unfortunately the last question, goes like this. Example: a cutlass. I buy 46 SCU of goods so it's full. On my way, I find a wreck and recover 10 boxes of 1 SCU, which I also deposit into my ship. On arrival at the TDD to sell, would I see 46 or 56 SCU? And the answer: you would have a hard time making it fit, but sure. The cargo grid has a max capacity. Anything else is considered quote-unquote loose items. And if they are on the ship, you can sell them. This is not to be confused with the FPS items such as guns, ammunition, stems, armor, etc. Those are technically in a third inventory in your ship, although I do have plans for that stuff too. So a lot of good things came out of the AMA. Personally, I love the 70-30 thing where, 70% of the time the ship or your ship will remain intact. I like that a lot because that's actually a prelude to what's coming down the line with physicalized damage and armor. So really looking forward to that. I think this is a great step in that direction. So that's one cool thing. And then we have the cargo missions. That's going to be really nice because we already have cargo trading where you have to put your initial investment in and also front the cost for whatever that's going to be between getting it from point A and point B. But cargo hauling should bring in missions tied to taking someone else's goods, in this case NPCs, from point A to point B, where for you, what's at stake is your reputation. And now anything that brings in more reputation gameplay is absolutely all right with me. All right. So what's your thoughts on that one? I'm very curious to hear. If there is only one concern, it's the friends not being able to sell your cargo through the normal channels. It's them having to go to a no questions asked terminal, or you having to, for them, go to a no questions asked terminal where you would get less than what you would have if you sold it at, you know, the other normal kiosk, commodity kiosk or what have you. So that is a concern. I do hope they have a plan to fix that, or to not so much fix it, but I guess address it or give us more freedom in that regard down the road, which I have high hopes for. But I can't think off the top of my head if anything has been mentioned about that as far as the future or future plans. So the inability to buy one SCU boxes may seem like a letdown, and kind of is, but at the end of the day, we know that's coming down the road and probably sooner than later. So that's good news. One final thing that I don't consider a complaint at all is just that I'm very excited for new commodities. I know that they said in the AMA that there's no real new commodities outside of the RMC, which is the resources or the ore that you're going to get from hull scraping. But, you know, just to put it out there, I can't wait for the economy of Star Citizen to just explode. Gonna be great. That's it for me though. I am very interested to know what your thoughts are in regard to this AMA and everything that we've heard. Please share them in the comment section below. I will be checking that right away. I'm always interested in what you all have to say. That's it for me today though. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to check out some of my other videos that's on the screen somewhere here. And I'll see you in the next video.